Hello, everyone. I'm April, and I want to introduce myself. I have a new coaching program called Grief to Greatness, and I am a grief and transformational coach. So, I want to start out with the first video, just talking a little bit about myself and about the program. So, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm April, and I started on my transformation and grief journey after my husband passed away. He passed away unexpectedly in 2019, and it sent me through a spiral. Just a little bit about what happened. One day I woke up, he wasn't there, and he usually worked late at night. So I was like, did he work a little bit later and didn't tell me? But I knew something at the pit of my stomach. I knew that something wasn't right. So I bundled up my child. I went looking for him. I called his family and friends, and no one knew until I had the cops come to my door and tell me that my husband passed away. Immediately, I was in like this state of shock. It was like I felt like I was in a bad movie, like this nightmare that I couldn't wake up from. And it was like no matter how hard I try, I was like, this can't be real. I just spoke to him. This cannot be real. And it just it threw me for a loop. I know that everything within me, I went through a shock, and I think it was to protect me so I wouldn't lose it. But it was something that just really threw me off. I just was going through the motions, calling people. People are on the phone screaming, and I'm just kind of like in this calm state. It was almost unnatural, and I know that some of my friends were looking at me and like, what is she going through? Like, is she okay? Like, I know they were kind of looking at me like, when is she about to lose it? But I never really lost it. I never really flipped my wig or anything. I just kind of stayed in this even tone, and I know now that it was a state of shock. And if anyone has ever had a death or unexpected, someone close to them die, your body has this shock mechanism that protects you, from hurting yourself or just going into spiral too deep into your grief. And I had things to do. I had to plan a funeral. I had a young son. He was only 3 years old at the time. So I had to kind of keep it together for him. But at the same time, I was like, I knew what was going on, but my mind just couldn't register what was going on. So after everything happened, planning the funeral, people coming in, out, I'm getting all these well wishes. And it's kind of like, thank you, thank you. All this is just kind of like playing in my mind. And it just like it's going in one ear out the other because I'm just in my mind, I'm like in disbelief. And that's totally normal to go through something like that. But at the same time, it was like for me at that time, it was foreign. Like, what is going on? I couldn't wrap my head around it. So, and then at the same time, I was a 30 something year old widow. Like, who is a 30 something year old widow? And I'm like, I had all of these, everything mapped out. And I know the saying is, it's like, if you have plans, God laughs at your plans. But I really did have plans for me and my husband. We were about to go to Disney World, take our son to Disney World. I mean, we just had all these big plans, wanted to try to conceive again. And everything just came to a screeching halt. And I was now a single parent, which I never wanted to be a single parent. So it took me through a whirlwind of emotions. And then hello, I'm a single parent, I work. So now I got to go to work and try to figure out how to work and then deal with my grief. So I had to take some time off to get my thoughts together, get myself together to kind of realize what happened. And if you've ever dealt with a grief, the loss of a spouse or a partner, there's a lot of paperwork that has to be done. So while you're trying to grieve, there's paperwork. There's all these things that you have to do, the legality of it all, and to get things done. And then on top of that, still being a present mom and doing what you're supposed to do. So yeah, it was a difficult experience. but it took me on a spiritual journey. I started to contemplate. I looked at mediumship, which I was like, someone needs to reach out to him. Tell me what happened, because everything, I just didn't know what happened. And I prayed. I got card readings. I did all types of stuff because I just didn't know what it was that I was supposed to be doing. I went to counseling, I did therapy, and all they really talked about was the 5 stages of grief. And, just it's not my fault, all that kind of stuff. And that's all well and good. But what really helped me was me to dive deep into figuring out what my purpose was. Why am I here? Because now what I thought I should be doing completely unraveled the day my husband passed, because I was satisfied in I thought, being a wife and a mother and, working, coming back home, but that wasn't true happiness. And I knew that at this point, if I'm going to be in a position where I was going to be without my husband, I needed to figure out what made me happy. What am I here to do? So again, I was on a spiritual journey. I did hypnosis. I've done Reiki healing. I've done all types of things. And while I was going through all of these different things that I was doing, thinking it was just kind of like trying to make me feel better, it was all coming together as an arsenal to help other people with their grief. So that's why I'm here. That is what has brought me here today. Getting tongue tied. But yeah, that's what's brought me here today, to present to you a grief coaching program. Yes, therapy is good. And sometimes you are going to a therapist who's never even dealt with what you're dealing with. Sometimes you need someone to listen, to hold your hand, to help you, and to let you know what they did to overcome. Grief, I will let you know, you're never over grieving. Grief comes in waves. It ebbs, it flows. One day you could be totally fine, and next minute you can't even get out the bed. That's all about grief. Grief is never ending. And although I'm here dealing with the grief of a loss of a spouse, you can also grieve other things. You can grieve the loss of a job. You can grieve the loss of of course, the loss of a child. But there's different type of loss that you can grieve from. But what I'm here specifically to do is help mothers, especially mothers who have lost their partners or their spouse, to help them move through this grief. And do it in a different type of way than just therapy. Is more intensive, is more not really hands-on, but it is a more custom-made and tailor-made for where you are, because everybody is in different places in their grief. So the coaching program is going to be one-on-one. It's a one-on-one coaching program for 3 months. I will do a series of healing. I will do a reading for you. I do a human design reading, because we want to find out what your purpose is and what you're here to do if you don't know. But we want to make sure that you are in alignment with your purpose and that you are on the path to your purpose, because I'm telling you, knowing your purpose is the way to true happiness and joy, peace, wholeness, all of that. So when you are a person who is working in your purpose, you are more content, you are more calm, you are more at peace, you feel satisfied, and you're less frustrated. Not saying it's going to be all roses when you're working in your purpose. Yes, there could be hiccups and bumps, but you are fulfilled when you are in your purpose. So that's why in my program, I do a human design reading. I do readings. I do my signature reading, where I'm going through your chakras, trying to see, what's off, what's in alignment, what do we need to delve in first? Is it your heart? Do we need to deal with some issues of the heart, or is it the sacral? So it's different things that I do. I start out, we do a deep dive. I'm going to do a deep reading for you, try to figure out where we at, where we need to start out first. I'm going to do some healings. We're going to do inner child healings. We're going to do some visualization and meditations. going into your future self as well. So this is going to be a program that is going to be tailor-made for you. I'm not going to come up here and tell you the same thing because we are not all the same. We don't all grieve the same. So I want to find out where you are and who you are and figure out how to get to the next level and get you on a path where you are in your transformation, where you are walking in who you have come to be in this particular lifetime. So I'm saying a whole bunch, but I do want to come to you and just let you know, a little bit about the program, and also to encourage you to do a discovery call with me, and I can go into more detail. The discovery call is $25, but if you sign up for the coaching program, then I'll take the $25 out of the total cost of the coaching program. The program is, I'm giving for this particular cohort, I'm going to do $1,000 off. So after that is going to be the full price. But this particular cohort, I want to start out by giving you all a gift of $1,000 off of the program. So you definitely need to go ahead and do a discovery call with me so we can figure out if we are a fit, because maybe I'm not a fit for you and I don't want to waste your time. But if we are a fit, I do want to bless you and give you $1,000 off of the program. I'm going to be coming with some other tips. If you're not ready, I'm going to start putting some tips on the channel so you'll know, some of the things that help me, some of the things that would that help me to prepare, like going to probate, insurance. If you have a house, making sure your deed is right. I want to go through all of that because a lot of these things that I had to go through caught me off guard, and I don't want you to be caught off guard either. So even if you haven't had a death of a spouse or a loved one, I definitely want you to continue to follow me so you can know how to prepare. It's something that we don't want to talk about, but it's something that is necessary to talk about, because when that person passed, you need to figure out what are their passwords, the bills that are due, things that, especially if you're not paying certain bills, you need to be able to know all of this information. And so I'm here to help you on that journey, to help you to prepare. Is nothing to be scared about, but that also, I'm going to tell you, it also helps you in the grieving process when you are prepared, when you have that life insurance and you don't have to do a GoFundMe to try to bury a loved one. That takes the stress off of the grieving process as well. What are you going to do for money? That's a big thing. So I'm going to talk to you all about different things about dealing, starting out in the grieving process, but also before that person passed or you pass, that your family is okay in the process, because that makes a big deal and that makes a big difference in going through grief. So again, I want you to, I'm encouraging you and inviting you to take part. If you are in your grief and you don't see a way out, if you don't see where you know how to move forward, you don't see a path forward, or you just feel stuck in it and that you just don't know what to do at this point, I say, let's talk about my coaching program. Let's see what we can do to get you get you going in a positive direction. Like I said, in this coaching program, you will get readings. I will do mediumship, where, hopefully we can contact the loved one, and, that also brings about some peace. I also will do some, meditations, and some healings that can be done for you. And I'll also show you how to do it for yourself. So even after the coaching program, I'm going to empower you to be able to do some of these things for yourself. And just know that there is help. You are not alone out here. We are a support system. Someone helped me, another widow helped me in my process. So I'm here to help you, help the masses, to show you that there is different ways to grieve. And I don't want you to feel like I'll just work and not deal with my grief, because that is going to come back. I'm telling you, my big quote is, if you don't deal with your grief will deal with you. And that is a fact. I promise you, I've been there. I haven't only grieved my husband, but my father has passed, my grandmother and grandfather, they all did it in, back to back within 3 years. I lost all of them. So I'm telling you, I understand grief. I've been through grief and I'm here to help you. So definitely, I encourage you, definitely do a discovery call. Let's see if we are matched to work together. And also, I will, stay tuned to my channel, subscribe to this channel, follow me, and just look out for more tips dealing with grief, what to do before, a death occurs. I want to be there for you and hold your hand through this process. It's something that we don't want to talk about, but it's something that we definitely need to talk about. And I want to be there to help you and assist you through your journey. So again, I'm April, and I am your grief and transformation coach, and I'm here to help you. Sign up for that discovery call. See you soon.